In this video, I'll be showing the internal details of a sample data collection app built with Alpha Anywhere, specifically the concrete mixing truck daily inspection application. This video will be about the panel structure, how the different panels and overlays are put together to create the design, to implement the design that came from a graphic user interface, user experience designer. The original design came as images that were created with a program like Adobe Illustrator and some mock-ups done with HTML, and it depicted the flow as well as the way certain screen elements would look. So let's take a look at it. Here we have the beginning of the app, as you recall, and there are some things like login help and the ability to look at log, and then you're able to log in and you can see a progress followed by this screen and a screen under that goes with it, and a screen with the form, and then some editors that we can look at. There's some buttons. There is a way of being able to show new. Notice that where the headers are and how the headers show up, there's a header up here and another header over here. These all share the same one, but when you get to the top level here, this is the whole screen. So let's take a look at how this is implemented. Here we have the whole application. You can see all the controls, and there are a lot of containers to do some of the formatting, but let's look at the structure of the different panel cards and layouts, etc. We'll use this button over here, the Find button, which lets us explore the structure, where we just get to look at the structural elements, in this case just the panels, and the panel overlays, and then we'll look at what's inside. There's a full screen layout. There's a panel layout for the whole screen, basically to hold two things. One, a panel card at the top, which is called the status bar card. This is normally hidden, but when you're running on PhoneGap on an iOS device, this provides, if we take a look here, if you look at it, you'll see that it has a background color of black, and it's used to put a little black line, black bar behind the status information on an iOS device. And there's code in the client-side events to hide this or to show this, and it's 20 pixels in height. Let's go back to the rest, because everything else is in this top-level navigator. So we have this top-level navigator, and in it is the main login layout, and then the which goes down here. It consists of the name, the login name, the password, and then the parts that have the demo login buttons. You can see that here. If we go to, it has all of these different parts to it. And then you want to be able to have the login help panel, and it has a header that has a little button that's used to hide the login help. That's this button over here. And the actual text, and the button to show the event log that's at the bottom. So that's the main logout, the main login panel layout. And the other part, now remember, that took up the top of the screen, all the way to the top of the screen. But, and then when you do this, it says it's performing the login. Then we have this header on all the other pages, and often this subheader. for each of them. So here we look at the main navigator, and it's programmatic. In other words, buttons are used and JavaScript is used to switch between the different panel cards. There's one to show the account information and used for logout, etc. There is the list panel, which has that main list of form records and has the word all forms at the top, which you see here in the panel header. And then there's the list of pages. Here are the pages, the identifiers, the specs, and the checklist. Pages and this on the side. And that's over here in the page list panel. Then the form, which is the main form view, which is a form view, that's in one which has some stuff shown in the header that gets set, also has a header on it. And then the editor panel. Now there's some overlays. We saw there was an overlay over here for, let's see, there is, new record card. Back in the top level navigator, there was the new record card. When you push new record, the design of this was such that if you push new, it had the entire top. It doesn't have those other buttons. So this is actually put into the top level in the main login area. And you can see it over here. And it has the new record long help overlay. There's an overlay here that's similar to the long help overlay used with the editor panel that we'll show you later. And these panel overlays cover the whole screen. We'll show you a little bit about them later too. So here's the form panel, and the editor panel has all the different editor sets in it. So this is this one editor set 1, and then there's an editor here for just text fields. There's an editor for the for lists, a number pad editor. These are all separate parts that are normally hidden of this one editor panel. And then there's some overlays for the next and previous buttons. This is an editor next and previous button for normal traversal, and this is for the error traversal, next previous. Here's the previous, the next, and the done button, which is shown when you're at the end of normal traversal. And the long help overlay, which is used when you push, if I go here, and for example, go down to the speed test, and I click on here, I get the long help that gets displayed. This panel overlay just fits right over here, and can scroll and has a button on top of it to get you back. And so here are the different overlays. This one, now let's look at these a bit. If we go to, let's say here, the progress overlay. This has a top, bottom, left, and right of 0. So it takes up the whole screen. And in the alert overlay also is, but it's normally set to not be shown as a class of messaging overlay. But it has this container that's in the middle, and you'll see that this is, let's say, like if I hit account. Notice here it's all gray. It's a opacity, has a black with some opacity on it to gray out what's underneath, and just has this in the middle of it. So it really covers the whole screen, but just this part is shown. Some of them don't have that. Some of the overlays that come out actually cover the whole screen with something that's opaque. And So those are the overlays that come up. So we have one for alerts. Those are alerts that have an OK button. This is something for ongoing. The progress one, it has a spinner using a special spinner. Now, notice I have comments here. You can look at the comments by clicking on the comment button. If they end up with ... at the end, it means that there's more than what you're seeing here. You can always also just right-click and choose View Edit Comment, and it will show you the comment. So you can go through and read any of the comments if they're cut off by the sides. The position of this part here of the comment is set in Properties. Here, where it tells you the indent of the comments. So I think this pretty much shows you the general structure, and there are buttons so that, for example, when you do the, let's say here, like you push the Forms button, the Forms button does a panel set active of the list panel, which is where the list of forms is. And so this is all programmatic to move you between the different panels. So hopefully this helps you understand how this is constructed and how the different parts are put together using panel layouts to be able to have some pieces from one and from other panels, panel navigators for going back and for going sidewards and doing the scrolling like this, and the panel cards to hold each of the different pieces. In other videos, we'll be showing the actual programming behind it and how this works. Thank you very much.